Oh, there are already some people waiting. Okay, it's good that I have went live now. Yeah, it's live, Sharoo. So I'll be
Okay.
on mute. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking out your time. So, today's session is about quenching the internal conflicts. And it is about the conflicts. It's going to be a very short session, but it's going to have a lot of discussion, I think, from your end, because I want everybody to participate. Why? Because I think each one of us has, these conflicts. From now and then, we just keep getting these conflicts, and we don't know how to come out of it. Sometimes becomes very difficult, very difficult. So I'm going to speak about those conflicts in a while, and I'm going to talk about how I came out of that and how I keep coming out of them. And maybe it's going to help you. And I would request you that you also can share the experiences that maybe in the past you might have had some conflicts, and you probably might have had your own way of dealing with them. So if you're going to share that experience, that then the people who are listening, maybe they will also be able to get a way out. So I would want everybody to come up today and discuss it. So, but before that, let's meditate and let's invoke the energies of the angels. And that reminds me, okay, I'm going to tell you one little incident that happened 2 to 3 days back. So it was like an experience with the angels, very interesting one. So how the angels, help you, how the angels are there, who are, they're constantly very cautious of what is happening in your world. Okay, so I just want to tell you how and what happened. So I wasn't keeping up too well, and so what happened was I was meditating. After the meditation, I slept for a while. Okay, so there is my house help. So I had requested her to wind up the kitchen because I was not keeping up too well. So what she did was that she went at around 5:30, and she said that okay, I'm going. And I just could not hear anything what she was saying because I was in my sleep. And she just went. And at least about, I think, 15 to 20 minutes, after 15 minutes to 20 minutes, there was somebody who was just trying to wake me up. Okay, it was as if there was somebody who was trying to push me out of the bed, and somebody was shouting at the top of their lungs that Sharu, get up, Sharu, get up. I just got up, and all of a sudden I just went out. It was like, I went out of the bedroom just to see and just to check that who was shouting, who was calling me. And I just went there, and I all of a sudden started smelling this stench of gas. So my entire house was full of gas leak completely. So the gas was leaking for 15-20 minutes, and my entire house was like that, and it was smelling very badly. And I was like, oh shit, like, oh my god, this is bad. And I just rushed. First of all, I switched off the knob and did whatever was required and needed. And then, after that, I just told because my kids were also there, but they had, their doors were closed and the AC was on. So they also could not even smell that. So I just told them to stay there where they were. And after that, when everything was okay, after half an hour, 40 minutes, when all the gas stench was out, that was the time again sat for meditation. And I started, having so much of gratitude also at that time, that my god, I mean, you've been working for me and with me for such a long time. You don't even take rest. So what I'm trying to tell you is this, they also help us avert such tragedies. I did not know anything about it because I was in my bedroom. This AC was on, my door was closed, and I could not feel that smell. And I was sleeping because I was well at all. And I just, after the meditation, I just slept. It was as if there was somebody who was just, shocking me and saying that, get up, what are you doing? Get up, get up, get up. And they were shouting my name. And that was the time when I got to know that, the angels also sometimes, they are warning you. And yes, one more thing what happened was, I'm sorry I'm taking this long, because it's a very interesting episode that happened recently with angels. Although every day is a miracle, they keep teaching me lessons, but this was something which was very, very, very grave, lesson that I learned also from them. So in the morning itself, the same morning, I got a dream. Okay. In that dream also, what happened was, I saw that I've lost my slipper. Okay. And I just discarded that message as something that was okay, that was a message or the message, and I just thought that okay, it was just a dream. I just saw it, and I discarded it. Day, that day, and before day before yesterday also, I had this similar kind of a message whereby I was losing that slipper again. So 2 days continuously, 2 days, I got the same message. So that day when this episode happened, so what happened was, at night, when everything was completely okay, everything was fine, and I was just meditating, I was reflecting upon everything, and I was trying to talk to angels that what just happened today. And then all of a sudden, this dream also came into, they brought this dream also into the foray. And they said that we have been warning you, because when we talk about the slippers, so why when we see any kind of a slipper, or we are losing the slipper, the metaphorical reason of a slipper is, slipper, what does the slipper do? It protects your feet, right? So it protects you from any kind of a damage. So losing the slipper means that it's a warning sign that there is something that is not right in your life. It needs protection, or there is some physical calamity or any calamity that is going to come into your life. So they had been giving the messages through dream time, and I generally decode my messages, but at that time I wasn't well, I was not in my own element, so I did not do that, I just discarded that. But at night, when I sat with them again, I just reflected upon the entire day, what just happened, and then I reflected upon that also, that dream that had come to me. And I felt so grateful to them that, one carelessness of somebody, it could have completely ruined my family, because my kids were also there. And since they do not get to know all these things, they, what if they could have just probably used a matchstick or lighter or something like that. So I was so grateful to them that, oh my God, I mean, it's like, it was an eye opener, that how angels and how light beings are working for you, for your own well-being, when you're so connected with them. So I was so grateful. Not that I'm not grateful every day, but yesterday I was very grateful because, it involved my kids also. So yeah, so I just wanted to share this experience. It was like, whenever I think about it, it just brings goosebumps to me, because thinking about all these things. So yeah, I just wanted to share this. Why? Because I just wanted to tell you that how angels are such miraculous beings who are there. So yeah, so thank you for listening. Thank you so much for listening this experience of mine. So I think we are going to meditate a little bit, whereby we are going to just invoke these beings in our lives, the universe in our lives, the beautiful beings who are there, who are listening to us, who are hearing each and every word that we speak. So we are going to invoke them, and as soon as we invoke them, we just invite them in our homes, and just be there with them, be with your breath for a little while, maybe 10 minutes of meditation. And then after that, we are going to come back for the session. So thank you so much for listening. I'm just going to share the music, 10 minutes music, and we will be back in 10 minutes. Is it audible? Slowly and gently, just bring your physical awareness. Just bring your breath back to your physical awareness, back to your body, back to this physical world, and with a smile and a gratitude, a feeling of gratitude towards the light beings, towards all the beings. Just open your eyes with a beautiful smile and the feeling of gratitude. Hello everyone, I hope you are all here with me now. And in case if you want to be in that state, you can be in that state. you will not be disturbed. For the ones who are with me, I'm going to share my views, my perspective on the topic, which is from the alphabet Q in the spirituality series, A to Z of spirituality. And today's alphabet is Q, that is quenching the internal conflicts. So as I was talking earlier as well, I think each one of us, whosoever is here right now, we have gone through our conflicts, our own conflicts, but we don't know exactly what exactly these conflicts are, how they merge and emerge, and how they come into our lives, and how do we have to deal with them. So this session is going to be about that. I will not be doing much of a talking. Yes, there are going to be few pointers that I'm going to share with you, but I would love to hear from you people that, what sort of a conflict have you faced in your lives and how did you come out of it? So before that, I'm going to share certain things, certain pointers as far as this conflict word is concerned. So basically, you guys might have also seen so many times in the infographics also that whenever, there is something good and evil inside of us, or there is a good thought, bad thought inside of us, there is the conflict. It is always depicted by these two devils, one, not two devils, one devil and one angel. So that is an infographic way of telling us that there is something, which is always at loggerheads with each other. So when we talk about head and heart, basically, or the mind and heart, so the internal conflict always happens when they are both split into two, because probably you're doing something and there is one part of you which is saying that, okay, I have to go for it. And there's another part of you that is screaming that, no way, there is not something right out there, I don't want to do it. So there is always a conflict between this, and it is also being given a name by the psychologists, which is being given a word called cognitive dissonance. So why does this happen? Why does it occur? That is the main question. So let's understand this a little bit in more detail. So when we talk about our heart, it has a kind of a, you can say a special kind of intuitive intelligence is there. And when we talk about head, then it also has an intelligence. But what happens with the heart is it gets very confused. It gets very disconnected or disconcerted, when we get involved in our everyday matter, because it is a very subtle kind of an energy. It is very abstract kind of an energy, but it starts getting dissolving somewhere because of so many things that are happening in our life. And because of that, we start getting confused. And when it comes to the head intelligence is something that, probably gives a structure to our lives. It is very practical, very pragmatic, application towards the life. But the problem starts occurring when we start listening to only one faculty. That means either we are listening to only our mind, or we are listening to only our heart. So we are not creating any kind of a balance which is required. So because we need to understand, if we are without the heart and if we are not thinking from the heart, then we are completely a person who is completely a soulless person who doesn't have any compassion and love. And if we just think only from the head, then probably we will just keep living in a complete chaos, because there is no balance. So balance has to be there. The more we try to create that balance between the two, then only we will be able to understand this conflict and be able to strike this conflict off our lives. I used to go through a lot of such conflicts. Basically, what creates this conflicts in my life? It was more of my religious beliefs, my core beliefs that I received from my parents, from my society, from my friends, from from so many people around, from my teachers, so from my relatives. So these were the societal values and ideals that I started adopted. I started growing with these mental beliefs, and that is the reason what actually created these conflicts. And what are the conflicts that we are talking about here? So there are different types of conflicts that I'm going to tell you. Is there are moral conflicts. Now moral conflicts, I will just tell you how do I had this conflict was like, when I came into spirituality, what happened was, there was one big conflict that, Sharoo, should you be asking for an energy exchange when you are giving a personal guidance to somebody? Because there were so many people around me who always used to see that, if in spirituality, if you're asking for money, then that is not right. It is not a righteous act, being done by you being a spiritual person. And there were other people also who were just trying to tell me that, it is something that is required, because if you do not take the energy exchange, then you are also interfering into the karmic in their karmic account, and you will get a karmic consequence. So there was a conflict, because I listening to this, I listening to that, and my head and heart were completely in a chaos. And then I sat and I started understanding the entire thing. I started talking to the angels and asking them what. Then they told me that there has to be a balance which is required, in this. If you are giving something, then you have to receive as well. So in case if you believe that you have to give a personal guidance to two people, and you are asking for an energy exchange from those two people, then you have to give something which is absolutely free of cost. There are some certain healings that you have to give free of cost. That will help you maintain that balance. So the heart was also being, whatever the heart was telling me or my intuition was telling me, I listened to that. And whatever my head was telling me, I listened to that, and I brought that balance into my life. And today I do the same thing. So if there are 10 guidance are there, if I'm giving those 10 guidance, and there is so much of work that I'm doing free of cost, I do not charge. And sometimes it happens that if the angels tell me that, Sharoo, you do not have to charge money from that person, then I don't charge that money. And moreover, whatever the energy exchanges, I keep some money for that is for the charity as well. So that kind of a thing. What happened was that conflict was erased. So these are called the moral conflicts that usually we go through, because there are our belief systems, there are rules, that there are principles. There is a spiritual self, there is a physical self, and there's a constant conflict that keeps coming. Then the other kind of conflicts that usually people face is about the self-image conflict, you can say. So when we talk about the self-image conflict, it's like, there is a person who takes pride in telling other people, eat healthy food, do this, eat healthy, try to be fit, try to do this, try to eat good food. And then, but on the other hand, the person is not quitting the smoking thing. Okay, so that is a self-image conflict. So there is a self-image, there is a problem in that. So, or the other maybe the other example that I can give you is that, for example, there is a person who feels that honesty is the best policy. You have to be very honest, and you don't have to fleece people. And what is happening is, there is a dream job there, and that person wants that job at any cost. And now what that person will do is, he will fake or she will fake certain things in the resume, which goes against the principle. So there is again a conflict there. So that is called a self-image conflict. Another kind of conflict is a sexual conflict. So sexual conflict is like, there is a person, there is a partner with you, and there is a partner with you, you care for that partner. You know that that partner has been there for you, for about 20 years now. You've been living with that person, but there is no emotional connect with that person. You don't want to be in that, in that aura with him. You don't want to be in that field with him. You don't want to, love that person the way you want to. So there's always a conflict. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Is it okay if I do it? Am I not lying to my soul? If I do something, if I am loving that person, am I not fleecing myself? So there is always that conflict. This is also the conflict that usually women have, or sometimes it's the men also they face. Similarly, there's another conflict called the existential conflict that we talk about. And in that existential conflict, there is a person who hates the life, but who loves the life too. So there is this person who wants to live the life to the fullest. Okay, so there probably you might have met also so many people around in your journey, and especially in spirituality, who are talking about mindfulness, who are talking about awareness, who are talking about that live the life to the fullest, live the life, live each and every moment to the fullest. But what is happening is that they do not want to make any kind of a change, because they don't want to get out of the comfort zone. They don't want to make any changes. They don't want to do that, maybe because of some fear, or maybe because there is a comfort zone that they have and they don't want to get out of it. So again, there is a conflict in them. I'm just trying to tell you that how many types of conflicts can there be. There might be many other conflicts that we also get. Now the question is how to find that peace of mind. So what I did was, the first thing that I did when I used to have these conflicts was, I used to sit with, these conflicts, number one. Number two, through meditation and by the grace of angels and Lord Shiva, I was able to understand that I am not this thought and I am not this body. Because the time you start identifying your thoughts, that is the time the problem starts erupting. That is the time that problem starts arising, because we need to understand that in a day we get about 72,000 thoughts in a day. And if every one thought is accompanied by another one, and it keeps happening. On one hand you're just thinking about maybe the kitchen, on the other hand you are thinking about the homework of your child, on the other hand the third thought comes that what is my husband doing, or what is my wife doing. There's another thought that is going to come, all these things. So there's so many conflicts, so many thoughts coming and going. There is a constant rise and fall of these thoughts, and we have to understand, we need to understand the way the thoughts are coming, the thoughts will dissolve as well. But the time we start identifying with one thought, friends, that is the time when the conflict starts happening, because the mind starts making and cooking up all the stories they can. Now, the first question, the first thing that I used to do was to distinguish between my intuition and fear. Because trust me, you don't want to hear it, but most of the conflicts actually arise out of fear, nothing else. It is all fear that is dictating us. And because of the fear, all these conflicts start arising. Fear of losing something, a job, a relationship, a loved one, anything, losing anything, or a material thing, or anything. So we keep struggling because we need clarity. So if you really want to be clear about certain things, that I think, friends, then, as I did, I used to write, pros and cons. For example, I'll just give you a very simple example of my son, the younger son. So he was having a mental conflict of, because he had to choose the universities, and there were two universities, and he was very fond of one university, and but there was another university, another opportunity that came on his lap, and he did not know what to do, although I was getting a lot of good feedback about that university. Now, I did not want to force or pressurize him into anything, because there was this dream university that he had, and there was this university which angels had brought into his life, which was also very good. Now, I left the decision onto him. So what he did was, he was into a lot of mental pressure, what to do, what not to do, what to do, what not to do. Now, what he did was, I just told him to write the pros and cons on a sheet of paper so that he gets the clarity. He wrote the pros and cons. And the third thing that I told him was, just write what is your priority. And when he prioritized himself, when he saw the pros and cons, and when he connected the beads, when he connected these dots, he was able to come to a particular situation and the answer, the solution, and he was able to come out of that conflict that he was having. So what he chose was, it was not the dream university that he chose, but the other one, because he chose, he chose that university because after getting the clarity in his mind. So whenever we have any kind of a conflict, whenever we have certain misleading beliefs or limiting beliefs, and there are so many things, the first thing that you have to see is what is your priority, and then start doing, start writing the pros and cons. So there was a time when I was doing a job, and I was literally on a very good position. I was the HR manager in Tata Energy Research Institute, and when I was leaving the job, there was conflict inside of me that should I leave this job? I mean, if I leave the job, I will lose my identity completely. Maybe I will start considering myself a failure. But then there was another thing, because there was a conflict inside of me. It was a motherly conflict. It was a concern of a mother, because my child was, my baby was very small at that time, and there was nobody who was taking care in my family. My baby used to just he was being carelessly handled, and nobody was taking care of him. And every day my house help used to say that, दीदी आप छोड़ दो ये जॉब, आप बच्चे को देखो, बच्चे को कोई नहीं देखता. So when these words started coming to me, there was such a bad conflict inside of me. Should I leave the job? Should I not? There were times when I used to take my baby to my job, the place, because at that time one of my bosses, she was such an understanding boss that she gave me a corner where she made a beautiful nursery for my child, where I used to keep him there till the time I used to do the job. But then it was not something that was a regular affair, because she told me that when the higher bosses are going to come, and they will not be happy to see the nursery over here. So then there was such a bad mental conflict inside of me that what to do. And then I decided that no, I have to take care of my child first, because he's suffering, and I don't want, as a mother, I do not want him to suffer. So I got the clarity, because there were the pros and cons, there were the priority thing that I did, and I came to this conclusion. So there are so many ways through which you can come out of a conflict. But usually what happens is, what I have realized is, when it comes to any kind of an internal conflict, people tend to romanticize the heart and believe that we should only listen to whatever the heart wants. But I guess, I believe through my experience, I'm talking about my experience, this is completely an imbalanced approach. Because we need to use the heart as well as the brain in order to bring that internal harmony. Because once that internal harmony is created, then only any internal conflict is going to go out of our lives. So this is something that I want to talk about, internal conflict. I would really be interested in knowing that, if there has been such conflicts in your life, and if yes, then how did you deal with it? How, just like I dealt with so many, I told you about my experiences, few experiences I shared. I would really be happy if you could just also tell me that, you were in some conflict and you were able to come out of it. So please come up and share your experiences. I'd be really glad and happy.
Hi, Sharoo. Can you hear me?
Yes, Malti ji.
Yeah.
Yes, I can
When
hear
you're
you.
talking about conflict, my conflict is always with my eldest son. He cannot, he has conflicts with even with my younger son as well. He has. So his nature is very fiery nature, and because he working in the city, and the thing is, when we start, since my husband died, he has been keeping an eye on the expenses, etc. And then he'll tell me to do certain things, which I may not be able to do it for some reason or that. Then he starts shouting. And so when he starts to raise his voice or when he starts to shout, I just tell him, look, I am very calm. I don't raise my voice at all. I just tell him, when you have calmed down and when you can explain what you want to say, then come back to me. Until then, I'm not going to talk to you now. And he does come back. After about 5 minutes or 7 minutes, he comes back. And then he's not so aggressive as he was before. And that is how I deal with my eldest son. And I'm very detached as well. Okay. So whatever he says doesn't upset me at all. Because I always say, well, that is his problem. Okay. I have a problem of not understanding what he's saying. That's okay. But I'm not going to own it and make myself feel bad. No. I don't feel bad about it at all because I don't own it. So, my youngest son would say, oh, Mom, he shouldn't be talking to you like that. He shouldn't be shouting at you like that. I said, I know that. But the only way to deal with him is this way, because you know very well he has got a problem. He is very bright and very intelligent person. So I just thought I'll tell you how I deal with it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Malati ji. So you shed a light on a physical conflict. So that is an external conflict that you talked about. So yes, that is also one of the forms of the conflicts that we were talking about. So I basically talked about the internal conflict and you talked about the physical or external conflict. So that is also one of the conflicts that we keep having. So thank you, Malati ji, for shedding that light on, on this kind of a conflict as well. So what Malti ji said that, she keeps her calm, she keeps her cool, she does not react, and she just gives a kind of a space to her son so that, he can also come back from a place of calmness, from a place of compassion, and not from the place of anger. So when he does that, the conflict between Malti ji and her son also dissolves. So that's a beautiful thing to, do, Malti ji. So thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Malti ji. Ji Naina ji.
Namaste, Masters. Namaste, Sharoo, Mom. I would love to watch you. You're looking very pretty these days. I see your YouTube channels.
Thank you so much. Shukriya. It's not me that you see. I think you see the aura of angels. So I always keep telling everybody. So the angels are around me. So yes, you see the angels, not me.
Acha.
Ji, bataye.
Yeah. I had this conflict, like, I didn't want to study engineering, but I went to because those days, either you have to be an engineer or a doctor. So, so I don't know, but I never enjoyed, I think, so all the 4 years. I was good in studies. It was not that I was not good or like that. But I never enjoyed that, they say, like heartily. So there was a lot of conflict. That is the reason when I took up the job, IT job, that also I never enjoyed. But the reason I would give, internally, I would never be happy to wake up every day, to get ready, to go, to do the job, whatever I'm doing. What I would give, some, like some fake reason I would give this and that, nautanki, just to escape that. Okay, I had never got connected, I think so. with all that. But when I used to come back, on my way back, I always saw schools, a lot of schools in Bangalore. You have, 10 to 20 schools in Nukkadagalli, everywhere, okay? So every 10 minutes you'll get a school. And when I would come back, when I would be on my way back and look from the windows, I would see kids a lot. And I would feel nice feeling about the school. Okay. So I would be very happy. So what I did, I quit my job. I took up teaching.
Wow, okay.
That was a period where I think I gained so much of confidence, which I never enjoyed all those years. Believe me.
Wow.
When I even though I am engineer, I never told ki I'm engineer. I never used to feel nice about saying it. You know, सब बोलते हैं ना I'm a doctor, I'm मुझे वो कभी नहीं proud नहीं feel होता था because I never enjoyed, I think so. So internal बहुत ही struggle करती थी, like, अरे क्या है वो क्या. But once I was into teaching, got connected with kids, my confidence, it went from 10 to ekdam 100%.
Wow.
This is the best. I think there are two professions. I am not, please demeaning any other things. Doctors and teachers, a lot of responsibility, I think so, on the society. So, and here it was payback for me. Like kids would love me so much. Every day, same thing I would teach, isn't it? But still, my environment or kids' behavior or whatever it is, the love they showered on me, I changed into a new person when I started teaching, and I still get connected till date. I still do the same thing. So that was one thing. The next thing you said is partnership. This one, no conflict. Okay.
Yes.
I think 16 years it's been since my marriage. And maybe somewhere I was a person who never, felt like getting married, maybe. I always enjoyed being single. But due to the etiquettes of the society, I got married. And I think to accept that only I took 2 years. Then always I used to fight with my hubby for small things, Because I had never accepted him heartily in my heart.
True.
Every time anything he says, I would find faults. ऐसा है, तुम ऐसे हो. I would never pinpoint at myself, but it would be always him who would be targeted. And I think since 2 years, or almost more than 2 years, I came into a spiritual journey where I learned it is me who has designed this plan, soul plan. Now it's so beautiful, our relation. We are just like two kids. Since I don't have my own biological children, both of us treat each other like kids. We everything, it is so beautiful when we accept ourselves. And the hard truth was, it is my own soul design. All these years I have been blaming X, Y, Z. That's the reason I may not have, so I now feel कि जल्दी मैंने spirituality में jump क्यों नहीं किया. I would have been. But now I'm making the best, Thank you. I think I have taken a lot of time. Thank you, lovely.
No. I don't think so. You have taken a lot of time. It's like, it's very valuable to learn so many experiences. And these are life experiences that we are sharing. It's not something which is being taken from a book. So whatever you have, shared with us, it's very valuable because, at some point of time, each one of us has gone through these conflicts that we are talking about today. So yes, for you, it was a journey with your husband, or it was a journey with your, career or profession through which you grew up. You even if you were in the corporate conflict, but still you were growing. And as soon as you touched the spirituality, you were able to grow more. So yeah, I'm pretty very happy to know that how you grew through all these things. You did not stop at one point of time, at one point. So I'm really very happy to know that.
And
Thank
one
you,
more thing.
Nenaji. Yes, yes.
Only one thing I want to say here, conclusion, always, if I go back now, since I'm in the spirituality, when I analyze my life, travel, take my steps back, I have seen that my intuition has always, I have good sixth sense. I have a lot of good intuitions. It has always told me to do something, which, tell, जो बोलते हैं ना, heart जो बोलता है वो करो. My only request to everybody would be the same thing. It will never be wrong.
Nena ji, that's what this session was all about, that we have to bring a balance between the mind and heart. Yeah, because we cannot just ignore the head also. The brain also sometimes speaks nicely. But still we have to bring create a balance between the two. Otherwise this imbalance will also not be good. And one more news, I was just going through the news part. So I was just talking about this conflict, this sexual conflict. So there is a lady in Gujarat in India, and who's going to get married to her own self. Can you believe it? So she's marrying to her own self in this month, and there will be no barat, there will be no music, there will be nothing. She will be getting married with all the all the priests and whatever the pujas and all the rituals. She will be getting married with her own self. She will be going out on a honeymoon for 2 weeks with her own self. She has booked, she's booked everything in Goa for herself. So it's a self-love wedding. Can you beat that? This is also happening. I mean, I just read this and I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is news. This is something which is very different.
Hats off.
Hats off. Absolutely,
it
hats
takes
off.
lots of guts to do that.
Exactly. And moreover, her parents are in this. I mean, they have approved this. They said, why not? I mean, I was so happy to know all this, that this is also happening.
So sweet.
Yeah. Thank you, Nanaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Master.
Yes, Swarnaji.
Yeah. Hello, Sharoo ma'am. It's really, really wonderful session. You always, bring up these interesting topics, which is really useful in real life. Not just in the knowledge based, but it's like a practically you use, right? So regarding conflicts, as Naina ma'am said, my first conflict was my marriage. Even though I married it was my love marriage, and I liked him so much. But after that, the drama started, the real scene with the in-laws, right? So I understood that it's my past karma. Because for no reason I used to get blamed. So for no reason I used to get all bitter experiences. No, I'm not really zero, but some blame would come. Oh yeah, you did this one, and so many times I had to go through it, which I know that it's not my problem, but nobody understood. So that way I had so bad relationship with my husband. Start like, yes, because of you it's all happening. Why don't you support me? Because you don't trust me, you don't love me, all those things. But this is, I think, the agreement I had, right? Just you don't talk, I will handle, because I need to go through these experiences. So yeah, that taught me so much. And then, now we are in the spirituality. I understood what is what, and now I see so innocent of his nature and why I got it. So much beauty in him. He supported me so much from the beginning. It's all. So now it's like happy ending, and then the from internal conflict was when I was working. I had my first few years was very good, happy journey with my very good boss, very cool boss. He would always support me and all. And after that, I moved to a new boss where every time he would pinpoint me, always pinpoint me. So I had a very bad relation because I'm like a very cool person and I had a very good manager, had zero problems. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I'm like, here I have to face it. So I would cry. Even I would cry. He would call me 101 and, you didn't come on time. You didn't do this one right. You didn't do that one. I would try, but he will always be after me. Then I would cry. And then I thought maybe, couple of months it happened. Then I'm not enjoying my job because, I'm like doing everything, but myself is, I'm not like show off type, right? I resolve problem and everything is running fine. But for them, it shows like, yeah, you're not doing anything because everything running fine. So he wants like someone who exaggerates things and some small problem should be like, maybe like you have to bring up to the whole company to know what you're doing. So that was my nature. So then I wanted to quit, but then I had a good nature that quitting was not in my life. So I thought, okay, I know I had like very good perseverance. I will bear my pain, but I will not quit. I give a time. So that helped me just go, let it go, let it go. So I try to, maintain whatever they requested me and all. Then, but I was not happy, because, once you have this kind of relationship and you know that somebody's watching you always, right? You don't want to be. Then even so many people told me like, hey, there are some other positions, why don't you apply and all. Then I said, yeah, I have to apply, but I don't voluntarily quit. That's my nature. So nature was taking me. I was learning. I learned so much though during that time. Even he used to, yeah, you have to do documentation, like a technical writer doc. So all those things, I learned so many, but also it was not a good, happy experience. So then all of a sudden my work permit got expired. I did not notice that. Then I applied, but it did not come on time. So I had to tell them that nobody told me, but I had to just tell them that this permit has expired. I'm not supposed to, based on the paperwork, I should not work. But my intention was like, maybe they will give me like, okay, you take break and then you come and join later when you have the card. But they said like, they let me go at the time. So it was like very sad, but nature may be taking me. So it's the time to, that is a work permit. Usually you submit 6 months back, but nobody noticed, and it's almost a time for expiration. So then I walked away with so much cry, so many years, like 5-6 years you had, and you're so dedicated, sincere, but you have to walk away. Then I was like, okay. So then I found out the job immediately, a month or two. The same job that one of the friend told me, hey, why don't you apply that job? Maybe the nature was telling me, hey, there's a proposition in one of the bank, and why don't you apply? Then I said, yeah, I have to, but I didn't dare. Then same job I got it. Then I said, oh, see, I applied. I didn't know that was the same job. So it was like very high level job, and it was good pay and all those things. Then I understood, yes, because my perseverance, my not quitting the things, that helped me to move on. So that way, because that time nothing was my priority, as you said, like you have to, if something is going on, but this is the only my thing, I have to work on it. It's just my bitter experiences. Outside is nobody is telling me, hey, you need to be here or there, right? It's like my thing. So what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, if these are the things, then yeah, just stay little longer. Nature is always wherever is the righteousness, right? Wherever the dharma or whatever your soul plan, it will guide you. So just don't take immediate decisions and quit. Even the relationship in the family, husband and wife, just wait. I know you will shout, you fight, you cry, and you sleep, throughout the night you will be going on, but just wait. Don't quit. Don't make a big deal calling someone or calling police, all those things, right? So many times I got those ideas, but I said, no, that's not the right thing. Just let's wait. So I waited. So that will make you bold and brave. And, then later you realize that, wow, what a happy life. right? So maybe that old job, better experiences taught me so much. Then I know how to handle things. I was like so brave. Even if that manager comes tomorrow and hire me, I'll be like, yes, I'll be like, what do you want, right? So means so much brave. Not earlier, maybe I don't have that experience. That's why I have to like surrender to them. Like I just I don't have any other choice. Otherwise, I would have, yeah, what are you talking, right? So I did not stand for myself, but maybe that the experience I have to go through. But then another one was like a decision making. When my dad was sick, I was in India for over 3 months, and then I had like 2 months I stayed. Then I have to almost come back to US. That time my flight ticket was there, and then my dad was like bedridden, he can't walk, and he got very bad sick, and he was in the hospital. So I was like debating, shall I have to go, because I don't know how long my dad will be like this situation, and it's already 2 months away from my family. And shall I have to postpone my thing for my dad, or do I need to go to my family back US? So I was like debating, let it go, I was just thinking like, nature will guide me. This is after meditation, right? So I just waiting, like, yeah, let's wait one more day. Still I have like 2-3 days for my flight time and all. Then I had to ask my dad, like this flight ticket, I have to leave in a couple of days. What do you think? I asked him, because he's the now needy person, and he's my guru, father, Pitru Vakya Parupalana, we say, right? So then I asked him, then he said, no, you need to stay one more month, because you can only help me, you can only take care of me, nobody else. Even though we are 4 siblings, one doctor and everybody were like in India close by, but he chose me to stay back. And that's okay, your job is not that important, you can have a loss of pay 1 month, all those things. But he just before like I think 2-3 weeks before he died, my dad is passed away 3 months ago. So then he told me, yeah, you postpone. Then I know I have to say, yes, Dad, I have to, because that was the motivation that I asked, because whatever my dad say, I will follow. Because at that time I'm not able to take the decision. So it's there, give the nature, right? That means he's like almost like a god to me at that time. So he told me. Then I asked my husband, and he said, yeah, it's very good opportunity for you to serve your father, take care, go ahead and take care of him. So he told. So I was so happy, I was like blessing nature. So that was a very conflict, means that I was like 1 week going back and forth, and I was talking to other people also. Like some not too much, but whoever comes here, what about your flight ticket, what are you planning? So I would say, yeah, I'm still thinking. So maybe talking through also, some good ideas would come. And as you said, write down your priorities. What is priority? So maybe at that time, my family's priority, but not like top priority. Top priority is my dad, because he's already on his deathbed. He's like he's very sick, he cannot walk, and he asked my help. So what else you wanted, right? So God came and come serve me. So that was the situation. So so I never forget that, and I felt like I thank nature that he gave me a very good opportunity to serve my dad at the last minute. So I was there with him just before I supposed to come here to US, just 1 day before he passed away, ma'am. Can you imagine how nature is guiding me? So he maybe my dad wanted me to be there. I won't be. Otherwise, if I would have here, then I would have not forgotten those experiences until I died, right? So that was the nature. I was like, that day whole, I couldn't see, only nature, nobody I could see. I was sitting, and oh my gosh, how much nature surrounded me, and I was showing the gratitude to them. So yeah, if we are like really go in a righteous path, without attachment, not like selflessness. So when you are an outside person, when you are service oriented person, always nature helps you. So just you have to have a belief and faith. So yeah, this is my things, ma'am. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Swarnaji. Thank you so much. I believe most of the conflicts in your life were being taken care of by the universe and also the external people. I mean, the people who are outside your life, in the sense your relatives, your friends, your all of a sudden help used to come, and or your father himself, who was like a guide to you. So I'm so happy that you shared these experiences with us, because your conflicts were being solved in a very different way, and
Exactly.
so
Means
yeah.
that no, I could have taken some choices. It means those things, but those were the best win. Nothing that I have to prioritize. Yeah, your
Wow.
case is like your child was a priority, and
Yes.
you did that way. That was your conflict resolution. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Everybody has different
Yes.
things and different way of conflicts. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Varnaji. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. We are learning
Thank
all
you.
this wisdom from you, so giving you back.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Yes, I am also learning so much from you people. So
And thank
much.
you for all the angelic messages.
Thank
Wow,
you.
those are like eye-opening every day.
Thank you. Thank you so very
Thank you,
much
ma'am.
for your kind words. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharoo, ma'am. Back.
Yes. Best. Yes. Best. Mindya ji. Yes.
Sharoo, do we still have time? I think we went way beyond the time. So
Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm here to listen. I'm a very patient listener.
Thank you. My experiences are not very different from our other soulmates who shared. Actually, in fact, many of our soul friends are here, and they know my story too. So, like you mentioned too, like the job situation was there for me too. When I got married, I came to US, and I started. I did not think too much about it. I did MIS, and then I joined the job that was there, software programming, and I was doing it. It was fun. Everything was good, but nothing like deep in heart kind of it touched me. And then the kids. I have two boys, and putting them in daycare was the only thing I could do. And they were getting sick constantly. And being boys, I think they had more ear infections than the other. I don't know, but they were sick all the time. And conflict, right? As a mom, and I was the one usually scheduling all their appointments and going, and then the job I was doing also later on, it became like a support job where most of them were men and young men, for that matter, or they could somehow prioritize their time. And I was the one who couldn't. I could go early in the morning and leave little early, but that is not how it used to work for them. They would come late, and then stay back night, and that's when they would work overnight. So support was hard for me, and there was always I was guilt feeling. With conflict, you get this guilt, like, am I doing the right thing? And I was carrying that guilt all the time about my kids. And suddenly, my mother-in-law had cancer, and she took ill. I had to go there, and she passed away. And my father-in-law was alone, so I decided I'll stay. My younger son was still only kindergarten, so I said I'll stay for a couple of months. That's when I got the time to think, and I said, do I need to run away? Because I saw death in front of me, and I said, it's not worth it. And once I made that decision, I came back because the job was gone, because I took more than 2 months off, and I decided I'll just quit. I don't have to get back. And before you quit, it's hard, but after you quit, it's just so easy. It didn't feel anything at all. I mean, I did not feel bad. I was happy. I had time to think So like Naina ma'am's, my story is very similar. I connect with kids a lot. I teach in Chinmay Mission from when my kids were very small. I have been teaching. Now I stopped. But so I decided I'll become a teacher. And it was hard here. Anyways, it's not easy because we have accent and we are not, and I'm not like somehow teachers, the way they describe, but they're born teachers. They have it in their blood. And I'm not like that. So I just connect with kids. So I decided I'll apply. And it took me a couple of tries to get into the job, but I got it. And yes, all those 10 years in software telecom, I never felt any connection. But with the kids, 5-6 years, every day, of course, it was ups and downs. There were bad times because there was parents blaming us and things. But the times I connected and I felt the joy, they come back when they go out of school, they come back and recognize and come and say hello. And it's just heartwarming. So there were a lot of rewards. I enjoyed that. And again, that decision, I don't know if it was intuition. I called it intuition. So I know you said not to. So I don't know if it came from heart, but it came from within. And till then, I used to never listen. I actually sat down and kind of analyzed what I really wanted to do. And then that's how I became teacher. But then again, even teaching, COVID came, and then I was teaching special needs kids, special education. And it didn't work out. Online things didn't work out. So I decided, okay, let me quit and let me take care of my family at this time. So like I said, the first time is always hard, but after that, it didn't become hard for me to decide again, this is important for me to do what works out. I don't have to struggle for that. And I even I have a friend who, she's struggling through her marriage, and her parents depend on her. She takes care. And she's been working in India, I think this LIC job, and she says it's so hard to get. And she has been she got promoted, and it was very good for her. But she needed to take care of her parents too. So she had her own hobbies and things which she wanted to do, but she never got them. I told her, just take your time, and don't worry about money. It'll all happen. And she finally, after 30 years of working there, she retired, and she took early retirement and she quit. She's been so happy. She's been so happy. And that's what I kept saying, it's hard to decide. And now her parents and she takes care. So conflict is there, but I think if you see further how it will be later on, if you don't worry about it, it all works out. And now that I'm in spirituality, oh my God, that is like the best answer for everything. There is always a Y junction, in my opinion. And it's happening even more now because there's always a spiritual choice, and this thing, should I follow or should I not? And meditation is a thing that helps so many. I'm not saying it's all easy. It's still hard, but whatever comes from, there's a clarity that comes when I meditate, and that clarity, if I follow. Just recently, Chandra Pulamari Sethi sir from Buddha CEO was here, and I had to go attend. It was in Austin, and I didn't know how to go. It wasn't working out. My husband doesn't support all these as much, and I wanted to go, and I promised I'd go, but it was not. So then somehow I just decided, I'll just do it, whatever happens. And somehow, like how Swarna ma'am said, universe helped me. Things just, my husband had to travel on work. He went out, so there was no conflict from his side. My biggest conflict is when he is not supporting, so we have to support. So that worked out. Everything else worked out. I just felt like once you make your decision, things just, that conflict goes away. It's until you're confused, you don't have the clarity. What is within shows outside, right? So our confusion shows as this. And if people see that I'm not confident, they'll also give ideas and keep suggestions. But if I'm confident and I have that clarity, I think nobody really will come against you. So that was my experience with conflict.
Wow, amazing. Amazing, Vindhya. Yes, I think most of the conflicts that we go through, I'm talking about the internal as well as external conflicts. I think when we just let it go, when we don't hold it too tight, and we just take that one step, one leap of faith, and that when the decision is being taken place, it's taken, that is the time when, when we not only grow, evolve, but we also get clarity about our lives and we move ahead. So this is what I learned here from all of you, the experiences that you have shared, that, we just have to, the meditation gives us a lot of hope. It has made us very hopeful people, even if there is a negativity, even if there is, there is so much of issues and the problems, but still we sail through. We know that we will sail through, and we'll come out of these conflicts, and we'll come out with flying colors. So this is what I learned today. This is my takeaway from this session, that yes, the meditation gives us clarity, and a lot of clarity to our lives, and these internal conflicts or the external conflicts are being solved by our own perseverance, our own the perseverance that we have, plus the universe who's working with us, who's sending us help 24/7. So thank you so much, Vindhya ji, for contributing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for contributing. Thank you so much. So I think the session was a beautiful one. And I really enjoyed, I enjoy basically when we all participate, when we share the experience. So thank you. So Nilima, you wanted to make an announcement also, I just remembered.
Thank you so much, Sharoo. It was indeed a beautiful session. And, when I'm listening to everyone's experience, I was like connecting how we all, have this internal dialogue of conflict for each and every moment. I mean, in each and every decision as well. So thank you so much for bringing up this topic. And dear friends, I would like to make a small announcement. So I believe you all know that we are doing 3 hours of meditation. After 18 days, I have received a message to do it to raise the frequencies of the Mother Earth. And I'm glad to say that today will be the 40th day. So even if any one of you join even for a minute, on this 40th day, it will be so beautiful. So this is what I just thought of sharing with you all. And maybe we also have one session with all the experiences, like, whoever have participated in this 40 days. So we'll have a beautiful session later on. So just thought of sharing this one. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharoo.
Thank you, Nilima. I'm going to be there for your session, where there will be so many sharings, so many experiences. I want to hear them all. I want to grow with all of you. And thank you so very much for being here with me, with the angels. And whatever the words that you have been saying, it is reaching to the angels. And I would pray that each and every one of you has that, the angels with you, and they constantly guide you, protect you, love you, and always shower their love to each one of you. So this is what my prayer for all of you is. And we'll keep meeting, we'll keep smiling together, we'll keep growing and evolving together, and have a very, very beautiful and angelic weekend ahead. Thank you, Nilima. Thank you so very much for giving so many smiles to all of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Nilima ji. Yeah. It's really, I can feel high energies during that time. So thank you for doing it and reminding us every day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Swarna ji. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Good
Thank you,
night.
Sharoo
And
ma'am.
thank you so much. Thank you, Anu. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.